Today, I'll be working with one of my favorite ingredients, the eggplant, otherwise known as the aubergine, or the brinjal, or the emoji that you would send when you want some. Today, I'll be making spicy braised eggplant, otherwise known as鱼香茄子in Mandarin. Now, this translates to fish fragrant eggplant, but funnily enough, there is no fish involved in this dish, nor is there fish sauce. It is named this way because the combination of ingredients in the sauce were traditionally used to cook fish. Now, the flavors are spicy, sweet, sour, salty, and I know you're going to love it. So we're gonna start with preparing our eggplants first. Now this is a very spongy vegetable, or if you like to call it a fruit. So it means that it can absorb a lot of the sauce, a lot of the flavors that it's in, but at the same time, it can also absorb a lot of oil. So to combat that, I'm going to first soak my chopped up eggplants in some salted water. Think osmosis and you'll know what I mean. Okay, so I'm just gonna chop it up into rough chunks. That's how I like my eggplants. If you want it in strips, you can do that as well. Okay, so I'm gonna let that sit in salty water with a plate on top to make sure it's all submerged. That's gonna sit for a good 15 minutes. So in most dishes, they use minced pork in this recipe, but today I'll be using taukwa instead. Now taukwa is a firm tofu that has a nice meaty texture and holds up really well when it's stir-fried. I've crumbled it up to look like minced pork as well. And all you want to do right now is to coat it in some corn flour. So I'm coating it in some cornstarch because this helps it to hold up its texture even better in the dish so that it doesn't get too mushy. That's your taukwa done. I'm going to set that aside, and I've also prepared a sauce which we will be using later on. This has soy sauce, rice wine vinegar, Chinese wine, as well as sugar. Now I've used rice wine vinegar today, but honestly you can use Chinese kiang black vinegar or even balsamic vinegar if you've got that at home. Next up, we will chop up our ginger and garlic, very typical aromatics for every Chinese dish. So you just want to finely mince that. So I've drained my eggplant. I'm now going to lay it on a towel and pat it dry. And then we're going to coat it with some corn flour and we can fry it up. Okay, so we're now ready to prepare the eggplants. Now in restaurants, they typically deep fry the eggplants because it's a faster process, but I'm not so keen on that, so I'm going to pan fry mine today. And this is why we've soaked it in salty water and also coated it with cornstarch so it doesn't absorb so much oil. And we're going to fry it up for about 8 to 10 minutes until they're slightly softer. Okay, the eggplant looks great to me. I'm just going to dish them out right now. Set that aside while we fry up our aromatics. Okay, it's now time to put the dish together. I'm just gonna heat up some oil and we will fry up our garlic and ginger until it's nice and fragrant. So that's looking nice and good. I'm also gonna go in with 2 tablespoons of jiang. This is spicy broad bean paste and it's going to give such lovely flavors to this dish. It is really spicy, so if you don't want your dish to be incredibly spicy, you can go for lesser. So I'm going in with 2 tablespoons. And to that, I'll be adding my crumbled taukwa as well. And we want to coat that nicely in all that flavor. That's looking good. Now we're going to go in with our eggplant. I'm going to stir it. Mix that all around, and the final step is to add in your sauce. It's looking great, smelling delicious, and we're ready to serve. And there you go, that's my spicy braised non-soggy eggplant. I've garnished it with some spring onion, sesame seeds. Now I'm just gonna top it off with some fragrant sesame oil. Just a quick drizzle of that. Some chili for color. And it's ready to be served. Spicy braised eggplant the Charlotte Mei way. May the food be with you. Okay, I wanna try it. Really nice.